Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. Today is the 10th of July, 2024. My name is Adam Rosman and I will be your host today. We jump right into the reminders. Please remember that the meeting is recorded. If you want to have the project, then please filter for good first issue or the help wanted labels, or you can do it by accessing it via this link, the meeting notes. That would help us greatly if you would pick up some of these. If you would like to have the project in another way, you can add your own organization as an adopters if you are willing to publicly share that, and you can do it by editing the adopters.md file in the community repository within the Metal3 IO project. And you just need to create a PR and push the change and follow the example of the others. If you experience any CI related problems, so that your tests, be it GitHub, Brow, or Jenkins based tests, seem to fail for unknown reasons, then on the right side, I'll create an issue in the related repository, and then on the right side, just assign your issue to the Metal3 CI tracker project. And then CI maintainers will track that issue. On related to the incubation proposal, there have been some movement. So you probably all know that Kashif created a new template, and that is in line with the new requirements. And now the old issue was closed and it was substituted with this issue. So the previous was a PR, this is an issue. And this have been moved to the same slot in the queue, and we moved up one slot. So we are now the second in the unassigned queue. So shortly we will start our process. And yeah, feel free to read this. It's linked in the other one, so it's easy to find. Other than this, feel free to check any of the deliverables or the statistics pages. Yeah, the project roadmap is not VIP anymore. This is actually now live, and feel free to use that. And please, if you create a new issue or PR and you think it will be something relevant for the new release and something that's not just like a two-liner change, then please add it to the roadmap. It's just it's easy to select. I think it's self-explanatory where to add it. You can do it the same way from the issue, so you don't need to go to this giant roadmap page and do it here. Just go to one of the PRs and then select it, and then just under the project you can just add it. Like for example, this is for BMO, and you select Metal3 roadmap and just click on BMO VIP, and that's it. And it's on the roadmap, and the automated milestoning is not yet enabled. I will do it soon. Yep, and I think that's all related to the reminders. Is there any question related to the reminders? And there's something in the chat. Let me read it. Okay, some technical issues. Okay, but that's not related. Okay, you solved it. Okay. Yep, just some mic issues in the chat. Okay, if nothing else, then we can continue. Is there any update from the Ironic Scalability Working Group?
Hi. Well, from my side, there is no major progress as we discussed last week on working on small changes on the sushi tools, some generic API call that can just share the VM state when it changes with any third-party API application. I pushed that, but it's still not in the review state. I need to make some testing. Once it's ready, I will ping the community to check it. After that, as we discussed, we might create a new repo on the Metal3 to host the fake IPA and testing the scalability there.
Yep. Thanks. I think that was very well discussed last time on the community meeting. Thanks, Mohammed. I think there were no releases. There was at least one copy release, if I heard correctly, but nothing in the Metacube. So there were no releases. And then from roadmap editors, it's just like a public service announcement that please assign your ticket, your PRs and issues to the roadmap where is relevant. Yep. And any question related to any of the 3 working groups? Okay, if nothing, then we have one discussion topic from Ricardo.
Yes, thank you. So I guess I was waiting for a question related to this. Should I create an issue and add it to the roadmap for this?
Proposal to add support for UEFI HTTP.
This will be a new hardware driver. The name is going to change actually to support UEFI HTTP implemented using Redfish API. The feature is already present in Ironic, so it's just a matter of adding the new hardware driver to BMO and enable it in the Ironic image, and that's really all. It's kind of like this is basically it's an old thing. It's this interface, like this option is present in the UEFI standard since a while, since version 2.5. So it's nothing new, but for some reason it was never really adopted, but now we're seeing a spike and increase on request for this because of like the security standard is way higher than the normal PXE boot. And for like other reason, like simply more simple to set up than PXE. It's kind of a like natural evolution of PXE and iPXE. I will add some more details based on what Dimitri, like based on Dimitri's comments there, and also some other stuff. But there's a lot of documentation also online, and I added a couple of things in the reference if you're curious. But yeah, just let me know if I need to add an issue there for the roadmap to BMO, for example, and I will do it.
Yeah, that sounds good. So first of all, yeah, that's a cool feature. I didn't know that the UEFI firmware also had this ability. Yeah, so please create an issue, and then we can track both the proposal and then the implementation under that issue. That I think that this is a good candidate for an issue.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is interesting. I will read this. It is relevant to things I'm doing. So nice.
Like any questions or anything, just let me know now or on Slack. I know that a lot of people are on vacation or they will be on vacation, so this will probably take a while. So we have some time to discuss it in case.
Yeah, I agree. Does anyone have any comments, questions related to this? Okay, if not, then yeah, thanks. I hope I will have time to review this.
Thank
and
you.
others, please feel free to check this one. Okay, is there anything else anyone would like to discuss before we go to kind of triaging? But I actually did triaging because I had some time before the meeting, so there are actually no needs triage issue that we need to discuss. I triaged everything, I think. Okay, if nothing, then just quickly let's check the status of things. So I accepted a few of these. I've thrown out 2 of these automatically generated broken link detection issues that are generated by a GitHub bot, and I don't think relevant to our web page or anything. There are quite a few issues in this needs more info and no more communication is going on state. So I think almost so these 2 still are very old, and I will allow this to get cancelled automatically because there is just no communication. This one was frozen, but there again, originally this is not even for upstream MetaCube, and then it got frozen, and then there is again no communication on this one. I might take off the frozen actually from this. Because yep, no movement on that, but that's not really that important, I think. And then most of the other stuff is just super old. So as you can see, April, June, April, February, January, and then last year. So nothing recent here. And that is one that I'm discussing with Hui. So that might get accepted, but we are still discussing this one. And then there is this one, which was already reviewed by you, Ricardo, and I just put that the needs more info tag because
Thanks. Yeah,
because this is kind of not I was thinking actually putting invalid on this because there is no documentation or on our side that we would specifically support the ILO 6.
Yeah, I actually I was on a little bit like on the edge of this, but considering that we're starting to see requests related to ILO 6, and we know that ILO 6 works with Redfish, I like went through the kind way and asked for that, because at some point we may want to add ILO 6 at least on like supported at least with the pure Redfish implementation, not with like any proprietary stuff, or just because we know that it works.
Okay. Yeah. I will leave this as it is. It's just and if you feel that the discussion is not going anywhere, or that basically if it's not going anywhere here, then we can just close this.
All right.
Okay. Is there? Yeah, and then nothing more. These were the 2 things that are actually active and I expect some feedback and discussion. All the other stuff is just old and probably will go away soon. Yeah. And then in the stale, there were quite a few stale I took out from the stale state. So let's check those because the number of these have grown a bit. Yes. Open. Yeah, this was what Adil discovered. This is actually not stale. We still don't have the proper bug report template. So this is not stale actually. These two are stale. Document Metal3 machine and machine template. Yeah, and these are also not stales. These were created for the previous or the last EU KubeCon. These are actually part of a separate roadmap, and we could discuss that should we merge these 2024 KubeCon EU Country Fest things into our roadmap, because these are tracked in that separate project. And I'm on the opinion that we should, because I think this one is actually, yeah, this is a private roadmap. And there is not many things left on this actually. There were a lot of things done by people, a lot. So I will actually put.
Sorry, yeah, I think it makes sense. I mean, there may be also things that like someone else is thinking about doing, so having visibility on that would be nice.
Yes, country first project with the current. Maybe just document the discussion here quickly. Okay. I guess no one has anything against that. I will quickly remove the stairs from these, and then at some point I will merge the two projects. Okay, and this was a dev improvement request, and this is also relevant still. Okay, so we have actually two stale, and these are good to go. Okay, and then nothing to triage. Yeah. All the other stuff is not really relevant. So is there any other stuff that we should discuss? Problems, improvements, questions, suggestions, anything related to incubation, roadmap, anything else? so far with the roadmap, we agreed that these things are fine. So in terms of creating an issue, but at the moment we still track the PRs and the issues on the same roadmap, and we will further discuss it at some point. But now a bunch of people are on holiday and will go to holiday as it's summer. So I guess it's better to discuss these things after people are back. So I was not really pushing on the Slack to discuss these things yet. From incubation perspective, the requirement was to have a roadmap and keep it up to date. The specific details are not mentioned. Yeah, if there's no other topic that you'd like to discuss, then I think we can stop for today. And thanks for your time and attention. And go on.
Sorry, I wanted to comment a little bit on the topic on the issue that you mentioned that I created. We need tasks for ionic image releases. Yeah, I think the comment you made here is it kind of answer my question, but I think that is related to how one BMO version is suitable to another to a ionic version. But what I want to mention here is about how one the deployment information of the ionic and the ionic image version should be suitable, should be linkable maybe. Yeah, so it's got like I think now that there's no problem, but I created this problem when we will remove the not remove, but we added the readiness probe and liveness probe to the ionic and to the ionic deployment, but the ionic image doesn't have it, and that what created problems. And I guess the main issue here is because we have the deployment deployment information of ionic image in BMO, but we build ionic image in another repo. I would like to raise the topic, like, do you think it's better if we move this ionic deployment to the ionic image repo instead of having it in BMO?
Well, good question. Eventually, this will be in the standalone operator. Right now, yeah, could make sense, but I'm just thinking if there isn't. Yeah, there are no hard requirement to have it, I think, in the PMO repo, but there are a lot of scripts and everything that kind of reuses the same environment variable and the same.
One thing that I'm thinking about is that if it's not like in the context of BMO, I don't know if it really makes sense. Like, it does really make sense to have that like in any other place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, if we don't have ionic, then BMO doesn't make sense.
I mean, we're not using that in the ironic image. We're using that in BMO.
By that, what do you mean?
And the liveness probes.
Yeah, but
it's like there's no context in the ironic image for that.
Yeah.
There's no why it's there. If you don't have the BMO.
You mean we don't use the ironic deployment if we don't have BMO?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense, but I think at least we should have some way to tag the ironic image version in here too, because now the problem I saw here is that we sometimes don't have ironic deployment and ironic image compatible because we don't have any way to track what deployment version suits with what image.
I'm actually, this was the part why I answered only this first part, because I don't really get why wouldn't we have that. I mean, if you go to the 0.5 release branch, there is the 24 ironic version hard coded there by default.
Yeah, that's the kind of answer my question, but that's, I think, is more related to how one, for example, if we don't use the deployment inside the repo or inside the branch, then yeah, I don't know. It's kind of...
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we don't really at the moment on the project level, we don't really prepare for a deal with just ironic deployment. Like, we do not deploy by default just an ironic pod, because we always use it with BMO, because it's almost like handled as part of the BMO, because it could not work without that. So it has been pinned for the BMO releases, and from that we know what is the tested version of ironic image for any given BMO for quite some time now, half a year about that. But on the so I think from my perspective, for me that's enough. Like, would be enough. Like, if I see that the version 24 of ironic is for that release branch, like pinned on that release branch, then I think that makes sense. That it might not work with later ones, because as in your case, like the readiness probes or some deployment variable changes according to the newer versions of ironic. So I don't really see that an issue. We could discuss your second, in my opinion, your second part of your question, that where should this deployment live? What I would also not, how to say, I also don't have a hard position on this, because I kind of understand, or I can agree with that position, that it's part of the BMO. BMO needs it. Let's deploy it with the BMO, because it's just a pod. Or I can also agree with, in part, with the logic that, well, it has its own repo. It's where we build it and config and develop the configuration options for that. So why not provide the manifests there? It's fine either way, but eventually it will anyways land in the standalone operator, because that will be the final solution for deploying the ironic image. So I personally wouldn't move this around, but yeah.
No, I actually agree with that. I mean, I don't see the point of having that in the ironic image right now. Again, it's a thing that is completely disconnected to the ironic image itself, if not for the needs of the BMO, for the needs of how we deploy it. And considering that we are going to deploy it in a different way with the standalone operator, at some point, we're not going to migrate from BMO to ironic image, but from BMO to the ironic standalone operator.
Yeah.
So in ironic standalone operator, we will not use the ironic deployment that is currently in BMO, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Then that's fine for me. Thank you.
Okay. Then I guess we discussed this. Would you close this one with a comment, or would you like me to close this one?
Yeah, I can close it. Thanks.
Okay, good. Nice. I will just comment it here. And I will link this one. Let me just edit this quickly and then we can finish. Okay. And okay. So yeah, I guess if there are no any other question, this was a good discussion. But if there are nothing else, then I think we can close the meeting and thank you for your time and patience, and let's meet next week. Next week there won't be any triaging, just regular meeting. Yep. Thank you all.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.